Welcome, beautiful souls. I am tuning in today for just a little bit of an energy check. Coming to you on April 4th. I'm sorry, May 4th. Oh my God. Before we get into today's little energy share, I am going to clear our energy. It seems that when we become awakened on our path and our journey here on the earth plane, we become even more highly sensory, and we are picking up on so many different energies right now. So the last place that I want to be is in front of a screen, the technology, especially with us being in Taurus season, as we have so much going on in the collective. A lot of us picking up on the energy shifts, a lot of us picking up on the density of those that have accepted this. And so they're emitting a frequency as well. And so if you're highly sensitive or a light worker like myself, you can pick up on all of these energies and it can put you into overwhelm. So we're here today. As I said, we are now into May. And so as I play my singing bowl, just take a few centering breaths, deep breaths in through your nose to allow spirit, to the truth of who you are, which is love, to fill you up. And on that exhale, release any of the density, any of the concerns, or any of the lower vibrations that you may be experiencing, because we are in such intense times and intense energy shifts. The Schumann resonance has been going off the charts. I was going to do a recording of that so I could show a split screen today, but I do prefer to record on my phone because the camera is much better and much more clear. So I will save that for another time. However, the interesting part about these latest Schumann spikes are that the frequencies going off the chart, many of us light workers are feeling it. It can directly influence our nervous system. And so radical self-care is so important. It can disturb your sleep pattern. It can be hot flushes through your body. Many of us, even if you're not aware of what the Schumann resonance is, which is the frequency of earth, the frequency of our bodies, and we're light beings. We are light and energy and frequency. Even if you're not aware of this, you can be experiencing symptoms when these Schumann's resonance spikes so high. And the reason is that because we are frequency ourselves. So headaches, irritability, extreme thirst, hot flushes through your body. And so radical self-care, because we have so much of the artificial intelligence, we have a lot of the fear frequency in the collective, because those that are accepting this haven't really done their own research. And so really the vibration of fear is ultimately what that is. If you're an awakened person like myself, a spiritual, like you realize, you become self-realized in understanding that you're spiritual and you're energetic, then we are also picking up on these frequencies of fear. And so it can become very intense. And radical self-care in the body is so important right now. We are still in Taurus season, although some of the inner planets are starting to move forward into Gemini, which is mutable air. For now, one of the biggest things that you can do for your radical self-care is listen to your body and allow your high sensory to work for you. Getting out in nature. I know last night it was very intense again, spiked through the roof. I felt it. So I went down outside and sat directly on the ground, got my root chakra on the ground, and started playing my native drum, which is very, very bass-like, very root, very grounding. Also, of course, connecting to spirit before I did that for the balance that I needed within my nervous system. For a lot of us, the vagus nerve is coming up. And the reason why is we are responding to this frequency that's coming in, and it's having a direct influence on our nervous system, our pineal, which our vagus nerve is known as the wandering nerve. It goes all the way from our brain stem all the way down through our whole body into our digestive system. And so picking up on these energy shifts, you can experience tightness in your vessel, in your body, very Taurus, right? And so I share on Divine Divination, the Telegram channel, helpful people that, you know, are some techniques to stimulate the vagus nerve within you so it can adjust and assimilate. Another thing I'm finding not only helpful for myself is doing stretching every day, getting out in nature, hugging a tree, being thankful to be supported by Gaia's energy. And also something that was recently gifted to me is the Om tuning fork. I'm finding this very helpful right now for myself as well. Just giving it a tap and going from the ear over the crown into the other ear, and then allowing this point, I don't know if you have one, but suggesting it to wherever there is tension within your body, and that frequency is helping loosen up and break up that density. So I have a lot to say because I have not been on. Again, like the last place that I want to be is in front of a camera, in front of technology, and, you know, the Wi-Fi and all this, that, and the other, when I'm feeling the intensity of these Schumann spikes. So that's why I haven't been on. I will be back on to cover the new moon coming up in Taurus, which I find all moon cycles are very important. But because we are integrating and assimilating and percolating in all of this very intense energy, whether it be the low vibration of fear that's coming up, but also the collective ping. You know, there's many people waking up, but there's also many people who just want to say, I'll accept the narrative so I can go back to some sort of normalcy. So they're chasing that false light. I know something that came up for me is I did go for massage therapy last week, scheduled to go again today, but I got canceled on. And I did have come up within me those that have been jabbed, shedding. And then I'm thinking, okay, so the massage therapist that's touching me after she's touched somebody else then and jabbed, is that going to have an impact or an influence on me? And so what I found is myself going into a little bit of fear of that. What I've become aware of within me is to not drop into that vibration of fear, which is ultimately what it is if we're that concerned about it. And to put on the full armor of God, which means, you know, fear no evil. Though I walk through the valley in the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. And so I just keep reminding myself that I do have the full armor of God on, and that is what I am, because I'm in the vibration of knowing who I am. Sometimes because I am having this human experience just like you all, I have to remind myself of that. That's another thing about radical self-care. Remind yourself, we're going in and out of grief, and that collectively is happening because a lot of us, even people that are not awake, they know from a soul level that something's not quite right. So that's the importance of listening to that nudge within you, because that is the Creator speaking to us. Although many people are still choosing right now to go with the narrative because it's giving them false hope of a normal, whatever normal is, or I just want to go gather with whatever, so I'm going to accept this experimental DNA changing thing that's happening. It's really chasing false light, so just be aware of that. Something that I've been doing since 2014, every morning before I even get out of bed, because I experienced child loss, if you're new, in 2014, is I don't get out of bed in the morning without connecting to Creator, God, the universe, whatever you may call it. For me, it's just God. I don't hold any blocks with that. I don't put God in a box. I don't put God into a box of religion. And so for me, I connect, even if it's our higher selves, to the Creator energy to I just putting on the full armor of God before I even get out of bed in the morning, and throughout the day reminding myself as much as I need to, right? So radical self-care, when we have those influxes of energy, you know, water, grounding. Taurus is earth, so Taurus is our body, Taurus is the nature, the animals, getting outside, getting in salt water, minerals to help our bodies as we are shifting. I've been saying this for as long as I've started my channel, but again, in 2021 now currently, it's very surreal feeling like everything is sped up, yet we feel like kind of a standstill. It's like we're percolating in the birth canal. So it's intense, and our bodies need that radical self-care. So vagus nerve stretches. I've been rubbing lavender and rosemary with a carrier oil on my shoulders where I feel the density. And I've also been massaging it into my feet and the pressure points on my feet before I go to bed at night. And all the while praying over myself. So I have a lot to say and a lot to share, but let's go ahead and clear our energy. And as I just play this, you know, call upon the divine as you call upon it. Breathe it into your energy system. Take it nice and deep down into your solar plexus. Whatever comes up within you that needs to be released, release it with the exhale. And we'll just do this for a moment before we do some cards. Nice deep breath in through your nose, all the way down through your belly to your solar plexus. Nice big belly. Exhale in a density, low vibration, fear, grief. Allow that nice deep inhale to cleanse and purify your energy system and your body. Allow anything that may feel stuck to roll your shoulders. I know moving my neck and stimulating that vagus nerve is so helpful for me right now. So, tapping into this, we do have some forward movement this week, leaving the sign of Taurus, which are inner planets. Mercury went into the sign of Gemini. Again, that is very intellectual. That's communication. It's our potential to learn and communicate. Gemini energy is also known to be youthful. This has nothing to do with age. It has to do with a playfulness. It has to do with information, stimulating exchange. Gemini is now in Gemini is one of the Mercury's home signs. So a lot of us, if you're getting a busy intellect again, it's because Mercury, the planet of communication, and the intellect has entered its home sign, one of its home signs of Gemini on Monday the 3rd. It entered Gemini, and then we do have coming up Venus, the planet of love, beauty, value, moving into Gemini on Saturday the 8th. So again, some forward movement into another air sign. And so we have the opportunity right now to really get into some stimulating deep connections with Venus going into Gemini, where we're really kind of craving an intimacy through our communication. And a lot of us have been shifting and changing out of relationships that don't work. Use caution when trying to communicate with somebody who just still chooses to go with the narrative. I always tend to say that you're wasting your time trying to change or convince anybody. It's very rare that people are open to hearing your perspective and then sticking to it. And so keep that in mind as we are moving forward, because we have the new moon in Taurus, where I'll be doing a video on this with the Sabian symbol on the 11th, this new moon. It'll be a beautiful time for us to sort out overthinking, clearing any of the clutter or things that no longer serve us, to plant a seed with the new moon of what we would like to embody, what we truly value, an increase in our self-worth, our true self-worth. In a false world where we've been told to put other people first, we've been kind of all moving into this energy of really getting into that we're cosmic, that we're divine, and that many of us are no longer willing to minimize ourselves just to fit into the group herd mentality, which is perfect if you're choosing not to right now. With so many overload of information, if you've ever been in a relationship of any type that was narcissistic, and you know what gaslighting is, we're seeing that on a mass scale right now. So if you're awake to that, you're seeing it and you're calling bluff, bullshit on it immediately. But as you know, when you're in a shitty relationship, oftentimes when you're in it, you don't see it until you do. And so keep that in mind, because we have Black Moon Lilith with the sun, and let's see where she's at, what degree. Wake up, computer. Black Moon Lilith is that goddess that can be very dark and deep. What her bottom line is that she goes by universal law. She goes by natural law, not man's law. So that archetype of the Lilith energy is those that will defend the underdog at all costs. She will defend anything that is being harmful to nature. And so she's at 21 degrees. So she's getting into that last decan of the Taurus energy, to where you might just feel that little bit of rebellious energy come up within you, or you may feel a grief or a sense of the betrayal is just bullshit, and that you're going to defend at all costs the truth and the natural law, the nature. Really an energy, I feel it coming up within me, is an energy of done putting up with the bullshit of people who are trashing the planet, who are trashing wildlife, who are trashing, the trees. That's what is coming up for me right now with this Taurus energy. And so the sun is at 14 degrees of Taurus today. Again, Mercury is at 0 degrees of Gemini. So if you have a lot of intellectual chatter, or you're taking in too much information, you have to, more than ever in this Taurus energy, listen to your body, listen to your senses that are in your body that are telling you this is too much. I know my beautiful sister Soul Whisperer just said something about this the other day, where she doesn't even want to watch any of that low vibration bullshit, and I totally agree with that. It doesn't do any good. All it does is take us back down in our vibration when we see things that are in injustice by natural God law, see things that are harmful and hurtful to others. And as a high sensory being, the more, when you're spiritually awakened, it's become like we're exposed nerves. And that, I believe, is why the vagus nerve is coming up so much right now, because we have such huge energy shifts coming in. And crazy to me, which I don't know this for a fact, but lately when the Schumann resonance has been spiking, the K index has not been going into yellow and red. So to me, it's cosmic energy that's being bombarded into our planet right now, far bigger than just our sun, like galactic. And so for a lot of this, with Uranus being in Taurus, the Great Awakener, that lightning bolt energy, electricity, I noticed that within myself over the last couple days when the Schumann spiked so high, that I just felt like I had energy surging through my body. And even being outside, it was difficult to be grounded. And so do whatever it is that makes you feel good, whether it be your essential oils, diffusing rooty rooty essential oils. It could be patchouli, any of the grounding ones, and also purifying ones right now coming up. So no matter where you are, whether you're home or out and about, just keep within your awareness the importance of putting on the full armor of God, you know, speaking as a metaphor, protecting your energy from all of the artificial intelligence with these jabs, and also the vibration of the person that's accepted that jab, because they would have no way accepted it if they would have done their own research and used their own critical thinking to research these experimental mRNA things that are changing their body forever. To me, I'm seeing it as in, it's a deploy from the dark ones to disconnect these people from God, from their connection, from their pineal to their connection to Creator, and inserting a false program to take over so they can be more easily brainwashed and controlled by an outside entity. That's my feeling on it. Do I know it is to be factual? No, I'm just tapped into my own senses, to my own intuition, and I'm feeling like it's the grab of those dark entities, because they know we're in a spiritual awakening with that Aquarius stellium that took place at the end of December 2020, where Uranus is the lightning fast. Uranus is cosmic, the higher mind, the God mind. And then there's no coincidence with these Schumann spikes. I'm like, okay, Spirit, the Schumanns are spiking, but the K index isn't going up, which is the radiation from the sun. It's got to be galactic, or it's got to be false weapons that are being utilized. It's either or. So, again, full armor of God. We're just going to see what the Kryon message is today with this current energy. Thanks so much for being here with me. If you're new, hope it resonates. You find peace, joy here. Thanks to my continued listeners. I have such great support and appreciate all of you that comment. I read every comment and always will. And that's another thing too, the North Node in Gemini. It's about getting really real and raw and being able to communicate and connect with other people as we are shifting and changing rapidly, just rapidly intense, right? Relax and be. I have much more to cover astrologically, but I think I'll hold off on that as I will be uploading my Taurus new moon, and we have a solar eclipse coming up in Sagittarius, so the nodes of the moon, the axis of Gemini Sagittarius, will be highlighted with the eclipse coming up here towards the end of the month on full moon eclipse 26th. So relax and be. This is something that's coming up for me as well, is the importance for my own well-being to surrender. Yes, I see what's happening. Yes, I feel connected to the divine, but as a human, all of us chose to be here to witness, to bear witness on what's happening. And many of us who are awake, that's why it's causing grief within us. And kind of that Black Moon Lilith energy of bullshit. Anybody, like I said, I digress back to that if you've been in a shitty relationship, especially with somebody who chooses that ego over their heart constantly and not balanced out harmoniously, the gaslighting, projecting on other people exactly what they're doing and pointing the finger outwards when they do not go into their shadow. And most oftentimes the sociopaths do not change for the better, because they do not acknowledge that they have an issue. We're seeing this on the collective scale, right? So relax and be. Surrender is huge, always for me. Surrendering to the divine flow and trusting my soul that I chose to be here right now is really significant and helpful. Relax and be. Know that you are here on purpose. Relax and let synchronicity push you into the next area that will be benevolent and beautiful for you, if you will allow it. Kryon. From Lee Carroll. I hope you really take a long look at why you received this card. First of all, it's my personal favorite, and it's the one of the most, the one most of us need to receive every day. Copy this card and paste it on your refrigerator. So maybe this might be a mantra for you with this current energy update, is to remind yourself intellectually, and it's important to not only communicate with your inner self, but say it out loud. We've been told not to talk out loud to ourselves, and it is so beneficial. I don't give a shit who calls me crazy. I talk out loud to myself all the time. That is very important because we're putting that out into the ethers. So be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you think. Keep your vibration high. And maybe you need to use this as your mantra this week. Relax and be. Like, I can feel the soothingness to my nervous system when I say that. Relax and be. Powerful. The most difficult thing for almost all of us is to live our lives in a relaxed and non-stressful way. Our culture breeds stress at every turn, and it seems to always push us in the ways that are challenging as we endeavor to expect good and benevolent things. Look at the simplicity and the teaching of this word, relax and be. It's profound. It's a profound statement from Kryon, which means be at peace with yourself right now. For everything you see is within your ability to understand and solve. Those words are for masters. This is who you are in the eyes of God. But look, it goes on. It then speaks of allowing synchronicity to work in your favor, pushing you into benevolent places. Do you believe that? Remember, Kryon tells us that our very expectations create the synchronicity we need to bring for our benevolent things. Consciousness is energy. But wait, there's more. So far, we are told that we can have peace because we are in control and that synchronicity is coming, which is beautiful. However, it's only if you allow it. What? Who wouldn't allow it? Dear ones, every single human who doubts that God knows their name won't allow it. Every single human who feels they are victim of this planet won't allow it. Every single human who doesn't believe they are good enough won't allow it. Huge coming up. This Taurus season, more important than ever, where we are in our evolutionary spiral up in 2021, is about what I was saying earlier, that Uranus energy, our cosmic consciousness, our power, our true worth as spiritual cosmic beings, here to play a part. Here to play a part. Get the picture? So before I even begin to ponder, relax and be, I take a deep breath, close my eyes, and remember the words of Kryon. You are dearly loved. Then I'm ready. Then I'm ready. So surrender as much as you need to. It is intense. We are picking up on the collective, especially if you are sensitive and awakened. We become even more highly sensory. So speak it out loud. Mercury and Gemini. Speak it out loud to yourself. Relax and be. Do your breath work. Do it as often as you need to. And take care of that body. Take care of that vessel. Take care of your spiritual essence, your emotional essence, your body, and your intellect. Powerful times for sure. Yesterday and the day before, I wouldn't even been able to sit on this camera and in front of this camera to share with you guys. And so I give thanks today for the balance and the harmony. I've been doing a lot of prayer work, a lot of breath work, a lot of radical self-care, and continue to do that as you listen to your body. So we'll get another one from the I Am. I was going to do more cards, but because I had a lot to communicate today, apparently, I am committed to myself more than ever. Your radical self-care, your knowingness, your well-being, to relax and be, and that is coming up huge with not feeling like we are victims on this planet, that we're powerful, that we're here for a divine purpose. And although it's tense, I will fear no evil and remind myself of that as often as need be, that as though we walk through the shadow in the valley of death, which is transformation, I will fear no evil. AI, jabs, people that have had the jabs. Put on your full armor of God. Be committed to yourself and your true self-worth as a divine light worker, starseed, cosmic sister and brother. Keep anchoring your light. Be invested and committed to yourself. And remind yourself with this, relax and be, to take a nice deep breath in as often as need be, and allow this flow, this surrender, and allow us to keep spiraling up. It's like when I feel these Schumann spikes, it knocks me on my ass. But every time I pray through it, I breathe through it, I stay committed to myself and connect with the divine. It feels like, again, back to my girlfriend Soul Whisper, leveling up. It's like that video game of leveling up. Amazing. I send this to you guys with so much love. Thanks for your energy of exchange of love here. Until the next time, Shalom.